West African leaders will meet on Thursday to discuss the crisis in Niger after the country's military rulers defied a deadline to reinstate ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. The summit, which will be held in Abuja, is expected to discuss using force to return Niger to constitutional democracy. For more on this now, we're joined by Ajek Mangut, who is our SABC News correspondent. Thank you so much for your time. What can we expect from tomorrow's meeting?
Well, we do expect the West African leaders to take the next step of action in pressuring the military junta in Niger to restore constitutional order in the country. At their last meeting, they had imposed economic sanctions and given the junta 7 days to reinstate President Bazoum or face military action, but the junta has been defiant and not met this demand by ECOWAS. So we do expect them to either make an announcement that they will be going into Niger with military force, or either to impose more sanctions. The defense chiefs of ECOWAS met last Friday, and they rolled out plans, in terms of how many troops they are likely to send into Niger if ECOWAS decides to go in with military intervention. So these are some of the things that we expect at tomorrow's meeting. But there are calls to the ECOWAS leaders to explore more diplomatic channels in trying to resolve this crisis and to sort of push back with its threat to send troops to Niger.
And one of the things, of course, that we've seen here is that the ECOWAS itself is also, the credibility is at stake right now, because we've seen similar incidents and situations of overthrowing unfolding in various other parts of the continent. And they've been looked at as being, a body that is without teeth. But it looks like right now they are set to redeem their credibility, if it's anything to go by the tough talk that we've seen from them.
Well, ECOWAS is trying to be firm in its stance this time around to ensure that, the military takes back or restores the constitutional order in Niger, because looking at the cases of Mali and Burkina Faso, whose governments have also been toppled, ECOWAS imposed sanctions and, tried to ensure that the constitution or the democratically elected presidents of those countries were reinstated. But that has not been the case, and the military is still in charge of those countries. They are, in fact, giving support to the junta in Niger, warning ECOWAS against any military intervention, saying that if they intervene and send troops, then it will be a declaration of war in the region. And so ECOWAS is sort of in a tight corner at this point, because it's not just dealing with the military in Niger, it's also dealing with the military in Mali and Burkina Faso, who have expressed their support for the junta. And that was not the case when Mali and Burkina Faso had their coups in 2020 and 2022.
And, as you've said a little earlier on, and really quite a lot of talk around the exploring of diplomatic, avenues in order to be able to resolve what is going on there. But what are they saying about this? Is ECOWAS even exploring this particular avenue, given some of the sanctions that are already at play?
Yes, indeed. ECOWAS has said that military intervention is actually going to be a last resort. They've sent a number of delegations to Niger, but the military junta there has been defiant. In fact, on Tuesday, it refused entry into the country to an African Union delegation and a United Nations delegation into the country. And it has said that it's going to defend Niger if necessary, if ECOWAS sends troops into Niger. But we understand that a former central bank governor and an emir, a former emir of a northern state of Kano in Nigeria, has actually gone to Niger in a personal capacity to try and open the door for negotiations with ECOWAS and Nigeria and other, Western countries who have been calling for this coup to be reversed and for, diplomatic mediation instead of using military force.